The White Death. In recent years, cases of what is often called the White Death have been increasing around the world. In 2020 alone, there were more than 4,000 reported cases, a significant rise from just a decade ago. Fast forward to 2023, and the number has surged past 5,500, with many experts warning that this deadly condition is spreading at a worrying pace. While it might not grab as many headlines as some other health crises, its dangers are very real. So what exactly is the White Death? It might sound like something out of a horror movie, but it's much more common and dangerous than you think. The White Death, more commonly known as hypothermia, is a condition that occurs when your body loses heat faster than it can produce it. It may sound like an easy problem to avoid, just stay warm, right? But in reality, hypothermia can sneak up on you in surprisingly mild weather, and its consequences can be fatal if not treated quickly. Hypothermia typically happens when you are exposed to cold temperatures for too long. Your body's core temperature begins to drop, and once it falls below 95 degrees Fahrenheit, or 35 degrees Celsius, your vital organs start to malfunction. Without quick intervention, hypothermia can lead to heart failure, brain damage, and ultimately, death. So, how does hypothermia actually happen? Most people assume you need to be in freezing conditions, but that is not always the case. Hypothermia can occur in temperatures as mild as 50 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 degrees Celsius, especially if you are wet or caught in windy conditions. Water draws heat away from your body 25 times faster than air, and wind can strip your body of its heat through a process called convection. Imagine hiking through the mountains, caught in a rainstorm without proper gear. Your clothes become soaked and the wind picks up. Even if it's not freezing, your body begins to cool down rapidly. This is the perfect recipe for hypothermia. Recognizing the symptoms of hypothermia early can save your life, or the life of someone else. Number 1. Shivering. The first and most obvious symptom is shivering. This is your body's way of trying to generate heat through muscle activity. However, as hypothermia worsens, the shivering may stop, a sign that the body is losing its ability to warm itself. When shivering stops, that's a red flag. Immediate medical attention is needed. Number 2. Slurred speech or mumbling. The cold affects the brain too. As hypothermia progresses, people often start to slur their speech or have trouble forming coherent sentences. This is because the brain is not functioning properly, similar to the effects of alcohol intoxication. Number 3. Confusion and memory loss. Another alarming sign is confusion or difficulty thinking clearly. People suffering from hypothermia often seem disoriented, unable to follow simple instructions or remember basic things. This confusion can make it difficult for them to recognize how much danger they are in, leading them to make poor decisions, such as wandering off in search of help, which only puts them in greater danger. Number 4. Exhaustion and weakness. As the body's temperature continues to drop, muscles start to stiffen and weaken. Even simple tasks, like walking or holding something, become difficult. People may become too tired to move and may want to lie down, which is extremely dangerous in cold conditions. This is when the risk of falling unconscious and freezing to death becomes very real. Number 5. Slow, shallow breathing. In more severe cases, the respiratory system is affected. Breathing becomes slow and shallow, making it harder for the body to get enough oxygen. This puts extra strain on the heart, which is already under pressure due to the cold. Number 6. Loss of consciousness. Finally, as hypothermia reaches its most critical stage, people may lose consciousness altogether. At this point, their heart and breathing rates have slowed dramatically, and without immediate medical intervention, death is imminent. Even if a person appears unconscious and barely breathing, it is vital to seek emergency help immediately. People can survive severe hypothermia, but only with prompt treatment. But what should you do if you or someone you know is showing signs of hypothermia? First, get the person to a warm, sheltered area if possible. Remove any wet clothing and replace it with dry layers, especially around the core areas like the chest, neck, and head. Insulating blankets or jackets are best, but in an emergency, any dry material will help. If the person is unconscious or their symptoms are severe, seek emergency assistance right away. In the meantime, avoid warming the person too quickly. Do not use direct heat, like a hot water bottle or heater, as this can shock the body. Focus instead on gradually raising their core temperature and keeping them as still as possible. While knowing how to treat hypothermia is crucial, preventing it in the first place is even better. So, here are a few practical tips to avoid the White Death. Number 1. Dress in layers. Always wear multiple layers of clothing, especially in cold or wet conditions. Choose fabrics that wick moisture away from the skin, like wool or synthetic fibers, and avoid cotton, which can trap moisture and make you colder. Number 2. Stay dry. Wet clothing rapidly accelerates heat loss, so if you get wet from rain, snow, or sweat, change into dry clothes as soon as possible. Number 3. Keep moving. Physical activity generates body heat, so if you are caught in cold weather, keep moving to stay warm. Just be sure not to overexert yourself, as exhaustion increases your risk of hypothermia. Number 4. Know the signs. Finally, always be on the lookout for the symptoms we discussed earlier. Recognizing the early warning signs can save your life. Hypothermia, or the White Death, is a silent but deadly threat that can affect anyone, anywhere. Whether you are an outdoor adventurer or just dealing with an unexpected cold spell, knowing the risks and symptoms can make all the difference. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it useful, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more informative content. Stay safe, stay warm, and stay informed.